Good evening. We're just about to begin this evening's program, so if any of you folks would like to sit down, you can please take your seats. And at this time, we're going to ask Mr. John Thornburg, President of Malden Catholic High School, to come forward to begin the program this evening. Mr. Thornburg.
All right, everyone. We have a short speaking program. If you're a person who likes to stand, you're going to have to stand for 20 minutes. That's the program. If you're a person who wants to sit for 20 minutes, this would be a good time to find a seat. If you're a person who likes to have a drink and a snack in the next 20 minutes, I would go get a drink and a snack. But we are going to have a short program, which in a minute we're going to open with prayer. We're going to hear from one of our students. We're going to hear from our SFX chair and our board chair this evening. So I'm just talking and talking so you can get settled, so we can get started, and I don't have to try to yell over the top of you. Well, welcome to Malden Catholic. This is our annual SFX reception, where we take time to celebrate and honor our most significant donors. What do our donors do for us? Well, when you drove up to the school, and if you look at the screen up here, you will see what our donors can do for Malden Catholic. And before we get started sharing a little bit about that, I'm going to ask Ava Sasso to come forward to lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God of all, as we gather here tonight on this special evening, we give thanks for our countless blessings received through the generous gifts of our benefactors. We pray too, as we do each day, that we may become men and women of simplicity, humility, compassion, trust, and zeal. Let our work today and every day be a reflection of your love. May all that we do serve to strengthen the Malden Catholic family and the world. Lord, help us to imitate the model provided by Theodore James Riken and the Zavarian brothers, so that we too may fall in love with serving one another, and in doing so, build your kingdom on earth. All this we ask through the intercession of St. Francis Xavier. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
She did a great job, didn't she? Thank you, Ava. Well, once again, welcome to our SFX reception. My name is John Thornburg. I'm fortunate to serve as the president of Malden Catholic. This is my 6th year. This is probably our 6th or so reception. I can't remember what happened during the pandemic, but this is nice to be with all of you, and I will tell you, this is one of the largest SFX receptions we have had, as the interest in what's happening at the school continues to increase. There are a couple of people or groups I do want to recognize this evening, though, because we would not be here without our Zavarian brothers, and we should give them a round of applause. If they could raise their hands so we can see who they are. And we do have a couple former headmasters here as well, who always give me a report card every time they see me. Tonight, I think I still have good marks, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. There's another group, and our board chair will spend more time talking about them, but we are very excited for them to be here tonight. It's the group from Brookline Bank. Raise your hand so I can find out where you all are. Jerry and Daryl and Drew, Omar and Marissa. Instrumental partnership with them, with what's going on across the street. So what I do tonight is I give you the MC report card, where I talk about the only co-divisional Xaverian Brothers sponsored school on the East Coast that happens to be the fastest growing Catholic school, the school that has the largest all-girls high school program, and the school that is surpassed in so many other ways. So let me talk about that for just a minute. If you're wondering what our enrollment is, one reflection point is the trailer out in the back parking lot, because we can't hold all the students in the high school in this building. In fact, this year we are at a record enrollment of 885 students. That's worth a round of applause, by the way. You're probably all interested in fundraising. Fundraising-wise, each year we have our operational fundraising, which is our annual fund and our gala. Our goal last year was to raise $2.8 million overall through all those events. That's not easy to do when you have a capital campaign going on. We exceeded it. We raised over $3 million overall last year. Now, one of the things that pushed us over, and hopefully you were there at the encore for our annual gala, where we had over 700 people. Sarah Hamilton and Greg Maynard put that together, and we were fortunate with our inaugural honoree. If you were there, he did a spectacular job, not only through being honored, but through pressing on to his friends to raise donations. If things get a little slow tonight, we might ask him to come back up here, but we should honor again and recognize Mr. Dan Pescantilli. Thank you, Dan. And the capital campaign, you might ask, where are we on that? Because you can see there's construction going on across the street. The campaign is broken up into two components: the overall goal of $40 million, but more importantly, the cash pledges for the building. The cash pledges goal for the building is $25 million. Last spring, in June, the goal that we had in our first year for that $25 million was to get to $15 million in our first year. We made it to 15.8, so we exceeded our goal in June. Our goal this year is to get to 20. Since June, we are today at $17.9 million, and that is exceedingly far way to go during the summer. But as you know, in campaigns, the first people you ask are usually the largest donors, and then the end of that campaign is where things get challenging. But we're fortunate. We're fortunate because Jim Donovan, who you probably know, did a $5 million match. So anybody who gives funds, it doubles. But we also have another donor, Mr. Tom McDonough. You'll see his name down on the performing arts space. And I'm not making this up for tonight, by the way. I'm not a salesman. I'm just being straight up honest. We met with him, Sean Hurley and I, last spring, and he said, "John, I'd like to give $1 million to your campaign." I said, "That's wonderful, Tom. But," he said, "how many $1 million donors do you have right now?" I said, "Well, we've got around 5. He goes, "Well, John, I want to make you work for it. I'll give you $1 million when you reach 8 $1 million donors." So you come back and you have the conversations, and last week, an anonymous alum made a $1 million pledge. So we moved up to 6, and that's pretty exciting. And then another person who had made a pledge increased it to $1 million. So we got to 7. And I knew we had SFX tonight, so I called Tom up to give him a progress report and said, "Tom, it's 7. What do you think?" And he said, "John, it's not 8. So, to the group, who knows people and believes in the project. That's where we are on that. That would take us, if we found another $1 million donor, that would take us to almost 20 million right there, and we could exceed our goal. So, and I didn't get up here to do a campaign approach. I just wanted to let you know where we are. Okay, behind me is a video. I'm going to take you through it here. This is 50 Crystal across the street. That's what's going up right now, the brick and mortar portion. We go across the street, and there's a conference room to the right. We go in there. There's a wonderful reception area. And the indoor decorations are just what they gave us. It'll be a little different than this, but you'll get the design. The first floor are some offices and whatnot, but there's a practice gymnasium. As you know, Malden Catholic has one gym. We added girls, we added 14 sports. Our boys wrestling team practices in here. Our girls volleyball team has cuts. We want to be able to provide our athletes with the space they need. You go across the hallway, and over there is a weight training room, double the size of the one in 99 Crystal, which we'll keep. But now we'll have 3 times the space. We have a dedicated staff person, and our athletes can train in and out of season. And if they need to do drills or other practice, they walk into a 35,000 square foot indoor turf field, the white beams up top. That's what you signed tonight. That's where your name will be up there. And this is 45 yards long, regulation football width. It'll be great for football, lacrosse, soccer, field hockey, even commencement as our size has gotten larger. You come out of there and we're going to move up to the second floor. Some people say, John, that building's for the middle school. No, it is not just for the middle school. On the second floor are the high school classrooms. The first one here, this is entrepreneurship. This is where our students will work in teams. They'll have guest speakers. It'll be tied to our summer internship programs where they'll develop products and businesses and ideas and gain real-world experience. Down the hall, financial literacy. Imagine a stock ticker going across the ceiling. Our students working on how to balance a checkbook, how to invest, how to develop a budget. Right now, that elective is our most popular elective, and we want all our students to go through that to gain that skill. We have a very strong engineering curriculum. Here's a makerspace. If you know, those students work in teams to build projects that they have designed. And again, this is helping them in the STEM area. And then down at the end of the hallway, our most advanced STEM class is the biomedical lab. And that has 2 spaces. One is for lecture, and then in the back is the lab space where students will work through that curriculum. If you look out the windows, you can see 99 Crystal out the window. This is a campus now. This is not just a school. Now, where's that middle school? We have to go up to the 3rd floor, and up there are the 10 classrooms that will hold the co-divisional middle school with grades 7 and 8 with a capacity of 175 to 200 students who will be up there to take their courses. There are a couple labs for them on the 2nd floor, and they will have their own cafeteria up there where they'll eat, so they'll be separate during the day, day from our high school students. What do you think? Someone told me today that Malden Catholic is ranked as the 9th largest private school in the area. No matter what our ranking is, there is no school like Malden Catholic. You take our faith-based community, our Xaverian charism, our Catholic identity, you take our co-divisional model, you take our dedicated faculty and staff, you take our parents, our board, and our donors, and I believe there is no other school like this, and that is why this school is growing like it is. It says in John, and I use this verse a lot, I came that they might have life and have it more abundantly. I feel our students find that in these walls. As we found several years ago when we did a survey that our students graduate from college within 6 years at a rate of 80%. Public high schools are more like 50%. We are preparing students for a life that's full, that's abundant and successful, and they're being transformed here, and they're being transformed because of all of you in this room. So I want to thank you tonight for everything you've done, and you've heard enough of me, and I'm going to ask one of our students to come forward now, Mr. Matt Gaffney. If you like basketball, you've probably seen him out on the court. I should add, how many state championships have we won now? 3. And I don't see any rings, Matt. I thought you'd have those on tonight. That's okay. You left them at home. You're a humble guy. Let's give a hand for Matt to come forward and share a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Thornburg. Hi everyone, I'm Matt Gaffney. I'm currently a senior here at Malden Catholic from Wakefield. I want to start off by expressing my gratitude to you, the members of the St. Francis Xavier Society, for your support of the Malden Catholic Fund. All of your contributions allow every student at Malden Catholic to succeed in the classroom, on the court, field, ice, or in any other extracurricular activities here at Malden Catholic. Through your generosity, every student at Malden Catholic can become a well-rounded person ready to succeed in any aspect of life. When I was in 8th grade, I had to make a decision of what high school to attend. Malden Catholic felt like the obvious choice to me because of its excellent basketball program, its rigorous academic curriculum, and its God-centered community. I'm so thankful for the opportunities Malden Catholic has given me these past 3 years. To start off, basketball is a major reason why I chose Malden Catholic. Basketball has always been a huge part of my life, and from a young age, I've always had the goal to play Division I college basketball. I knew that by attending Malden Catholic, I would have the chance to achieve my goal. However, these past 3 years have been so much more than just achieving this one goal. Together, we have won 3 straight state championships and built one of the best high school basketball programs in the state. Individually, about myself, I've scored 1,000 points. I've been named to multiple All-Scholastic by the Boston Globe and Boston Herald, and last spring I was named to the Boston Herald Dream Team. I've grown in so many ways beyond just my basketball skills. With the help of Coach Walsh and the entire coaching staff, I've developed not into a better basketball player, but also a better human being. The coaching staff has always believed in me and have gone above and beyond to help me achieve my dreams, whether that be working out with me at 5 in the morning at Breakfast Club with Mr. Smith, working with me after practice, and or calling hundreds of college coaches on my behalf. The Malden Catholic basketball program has become my second family. I wouldn't have the success I have today without them. I'm proud to say that next fall, I'm lucky enough to accomplish my goal and play Division I college basketball at the United States Naval Academy. Secondly, I chose Malden Catholic because I felt that the rigorous academic curriculum would allow me to get into some of the best colleges in the world. Through my time at MC, I've always been pushed to be the best student I can be. I've taken 9 AP classes, dozens of honors classes, and I've extended beyond the classroom through the MC Summer Internship Program, where 2 summers ago, I worked for the Cambridge Regional Land Athletic Department, Mr. Tom Maria, and this past summer I worked with the United States Postal Inspection, Mr. David Reardon. The teachers at MC go above and beyond for their students, and I've always had the option to meet with any of my teachers before or after school to review material that I'm struggling with. Last year specifically, I had Miss Lynch Galvin for pre-calculus calculus, and almost every time I had a quiz, I would be in her office asking her questions about the specific test that we were about to have. This is just one of the examples of many of the ways a teacher at MC has helped me achieve my academic success. Through the help of my teacher's encouragement, I have achieved numerous president's lists, been nominated to National Honor Society, and last week I was voted National Honor Society president. It is through the support and encouragement of my teachers that I have felt empowered to put myself in the classroom, and I am confident and well prepared to continue the success throughout my college years. Malden Catholic has also helped me grow in my faith. Growing up in a Catholic and very religious family, my faith has always been very important to me and is one of the many reasons why I chose Malden Catholic. Each day I walk into school, I can truly feel the presence of God. As the Varian Brothers sponsored school, there's a focus on humility, compassion, trust, and zeal. And it is exemplified through the works of Brother Puccio and all our theology teachers. MC has enabled me to develop my faith on an individual level by allowing me the opportunity to attend weekly rosaries, weekly masses, school-wide masses, and religious retreats. This past summer, I went to MC Alive, which is a senior retreat up at Endicott College, and this is where students get to grow their bonds and their relationships with each other, get to become leaders of the school, and get to become closer with God. MC fosters an environment in which I'm able to strengthen my relationship with God, and that is something I'm very grateful for. While I have achieved academically and athletically at Malden Catholic, it is the community and the people at Malden Catholic that have truly shaped my time here. For the administration, teachers, coaches, and even the janitors, the culture at MC can best be described as a family. MC has great school spirit through its athletic events, football games, basketball games, hockey games, pep rallies. The pit is always packed and everyone is always rooting for each other. Here at Malden Catholic, I've met some of my best friends and I've created memories that are going to last me a lifetime. I'm honored and grateful to forever have a home on Crystal Street, and I'm excited to take all the lessons I have learned through these past 3 years and this next year at my time at MC to help enter into the United States Naval Academy and hopefully succeed throughout the rest of my life. On behalf of the students of Malden Catholic, thank you for your generosity and support, and I hope you have a great evening.
Very nicely done, Matt. We're very proud of you, and we know you're going to be successful going into the future. Our SFX reception has an SFX chair. And if you've been around for a while, you know that our original chair, Mr. Joe O'Donnell, founded it. We're here tonight, many of us, because of Joe. And last year, Bob Higgins, was kind enough to read comments Joe had sent, because Joe was sick, and then sadly Joe passed away last year. Excuse me. It's tough for all of us because Joe played an important role in all of our lives, and his spirit lives on in so many ways, even the building itself. He was the architect that gave us the parameters of what he thought we should do. His spirit lives in many of us, and in one person in particular who has agreed to be our new SFX chair, not to replace Joe, but to reflect his spirit. He's from the class of '64. He's going to come forward now. Mr. Dick Sumberg. Dick, come on forward.
Thank you, John. Good evening. Joe's not here, but he's here in spirit. I think he'll always be with us in spirit. He was the chair of this organization for 29 years. That's right. This is the 29th year of his existence. And you may be wondering why I'm here. Well, I'm here because Mason Tenalia, our board chair, called me a few weeks ago and said, "You have been unanimously elected to the position of chair of the SFX Society." I said, "Mason, I'm very impressed. 220 people. There are 220 members in this year, the largest number ever. All voted for me?" He said, "No, I voted for you." I said, "What do I have to do?" He said, "You have to take Joe O'Donnell's spot in the speaking program." I said, "Well, okay." No one can replace Joe. His enthusiasm for Malden Catholic, his enthusiasm for the students, how he talked about the bounce in their step, we have to remember that. And those of you who didn't have the opportunity to be here any prior year and hear that, it's what he talked about that made him very proud to be part of this community. And I think which makes us all proud to be part of this community. I know you all have a story about why you are here, how you got reconnected after you left Malden Catholic, or maybe your kids or even grandkids left Malden Catholic. I wanted to take a minute to tell you mine. In 1990, my daughter, we live in Andover, my daughter was admitted to Phillips Academy. The week before she went for her first day in class, I got a parent fundraising letter from Phillips. I said, wait a minute. Phillips should depend upon their alumni to support their institution, but I had never been solicited by Malden Catholic. In fact, from 1964 to 1990, I had no contact with the school whatsoever. I don't follow sports, so I didn't know what was going on in the playing fields and the hockey rink. So I said, heck with Phillips Academy. I just sent them a tuition check. I sent a $100 check to Malden Catholic unsolicited. I got a phone call. The guy in the development partner, Sandro Martinetti, remember Sandro, may even be here. He called me up and said, who are you? I said, I'm in the class of 64. I thought I'd send you some money. He said, have you been to the school? I said, no, I graduated before they built the new school. He said, well, come on down. Well, shortly thereafter, I ended up on the board of trustees here. And then in 1995, I was called to a meeting, and it was the first meeting of this group. I didn't know it at the time. Joe called the meeting, and he said, we got to form the society. We have to get into the development business. The prior year, the annual fund had raised $11,000. And he said, we'll call it, I think the first name was Concordia, and then it eventually morphed into the St. Francis Xavier Society. And he said, we have to build this as a way to support the school because these kids need financial aid to be able to come to school here. And that's what this fundraising is all about. So over that 29 years, it went from $11,000 to now this year, and at 11,000, there were only a handful of donors. This year, we raised over $1 million for the annual fund from 220 donors who are members. Let's give ourselves a round of applause. The money that's raised for the annual fund is devoted to financial aid for our students. About 80% of our students, just under 80% of the students receive some financial aid. The average student receives about $6,000 in financial aid. That's pretty significant, and it allows us to continue to serve the population that we serve. We're not serving the population from the highest income communities here. We're serving the population that's in really these working communities that surround Malden. So it's a very important part of the financial security of the school and a very important part in bringing in top students who want this kind of an education and are willing to work for it. We need to continue this effort because prices are going up every year. We need to increase our fundraising to be able to be successful. It's up to all of us in this room and those who aren't in this room, who we can talk to, who we can encourage to participate every year with the annual fund in order to be able to do this. So, in Joe's memory, let's continue to build this organization. Let's all be here every year and continue to provide financial aid for our students at Malden Catholic. Thank you for what you do for Malden Catholic. The students appreciate it, the faculty appreciates it. It's important to our community, to our communities. Thank you.
In a second, our board chair is going to come up to close out the evening. When he's completed, we'll have more time to enjoy visiting, drinks, whatever. Greg Maynard wants me to remind everyone, if you have not signed the beam, to do that before you leave tonight. But before we do all that, the gentleman who's been at the helm of the board the last 2 years, who shepherded us through the capital campaign thus far in the building, a person that we couldn't have done it without. I'm going to have him come forward for the closing comments. Our board chair, Mr. Mason Tanalia.
Thank you, everybody. everybody. A lot of you don't know me. I'm a class of '74 grad. I had the privilege of going to my 50th high school reunion on a Friday night, and the next morning coming to MC and handing out diplomas for the class of 2024 with John. And I've written a letter about this that's in the annual report. I would like you to read when you gotta find it. It's going to be buried back in there someplace. You'll see my picture. Please read the letter. I want you to get a feel for what I felt that day. It was getting a little weepy just thinking about it. I want to thank everybody for coming. Your time is valuable. We appreciate you being here. A year ago, I stood in front of this group, and honestly, we had this hole in the ground across the street. We knocked down kind of knocked a couple of holes in the old fish factory, but we weren't making any commitments, right? We didn't know what was going to happen, and we couldn't say we were going to be able to raise the money or get a bank loan or build a building that we could afford. And I was really reluctant to say when we were going to launch this thing and when we were going to break ground and when we were going to open the school. And I'm prepared today to tell you very clearly, we're going to open a new school, that building across the street next summer. And we're going to have a 7th and 8th grade in September of 2025. And this place is going to be humming, right? It's amazing. And everything has gone, it hasn't been easy. There's been a lot of hard work that's taken place over the last year since this last SFX Society. But there's a few people I just want to thank because we couldn't have done it without a whole group of people who put in a lot of effort here. We didn't know how much the building was going to cost. We didn't know if we were going to be able to get a bank loan. We didn't know if people were going to step up and write checks. And all those things have happened. I'd like to first thank a couple of people from Brookline Bank. Jerry Algier, Jerry, raise your hand. Omar, Zadari. These guys went to the mat for us with Brookline Bank. We'd known them from their days at Century Bank, and they believed in the school, and they believed in our co-divisional model, and they believed in our management, and they allowed us to get the financing to ensure that we could break ground in May, and that we could build this building and open it next September. Without them, we would not be opening a year from now. I can just tell you right now, we had some great benefactors, but we couldn't do it without the surety that we could pay our contractor, right? And so we owe an awful lot to those guys, and I'd like to thank them and thank Brookline Bank. They've been a great partner so far, and we look forward to another 20, 30, 40, 50 years of working with you because you're good jobs. Thank you. We could never have undertaken this project without some really dedicated board members. I encourage you to look at the board list. The talent that I have on the board with me is really, I've been on the board for 20 years off and on, and we've never had a board like this in terms of talent. Professional experience, construction experience, finance experience, audit experience. But without a few people on the plant side, on our plant committee, we could have never pulled this off. First of all, Paul Sullivan, who's not here tonight, Paul Sullivan, Steve O'Neill, I don't think Steve's here either. Honestly, these guys for 10 years have been thinking about this building across the street ever since we were able to negotiate our way into the fish factory, right? They've been thinking about this. My vice chair, Mike Cantalupa, who's back here, works for the Davis Companies, knows more about real estate than I'll ever know. He's been essential. Rob DeMarco, who is here somewhere, I don't know, maybe he isn't. He's back there, who's a local attorney and really knows how things work in the city of Malden and how things work with the banks. I mean, the guy has worked probably 20, 30 hours a week for the last year just for Malden Catholic. It's been unbelievable. And DJ Kachaputi, who's probably not here, I don't know, he's probably off cleaning something somewhere, working on the building somewhere. He's our vice president of plant. These guys and Jim Donovan, who theoretically retired as board chair 2 years ago, he hasn't really, he's still around, he calls me like every day. Have just worked, and they've worked and worked and worked. We're very fortunate, we've hired Scalora as our owner's rep. They're terrific. I don't think there's anybody from Scalora here, but I got to tell you, we had somebody else, we threw them out, we brought in Scalora. The world changed. They did a great job. We've got Timberline as a construction partner. And honestly, we're going to deliver this building for $435 a square foot. You know, 70,000 square feet, $31 million. $435 a square foot. BC High is building a 50,000 square foot building for $50 million, $1,000 a square foot. Okay. We're doing things the MC way. Joe would be so proud, right? Like, forget about that, we don't need that. We don't need that, this is MC, come on. I can hear him talking, right? You know, we're treating this as if it was our money, because it is our money, right? It's the people in this room who've stepped up and written a check. You know, in Jim's case, he's pledged $5 million to the construction of this building. And by the way, he didn't go to school here. For those of you who don't know this, I mean, he did not graduate from Malden Catholic, right? He graduated from Mission High School. And his father was the custodian in the 1950s, also a graduate of MC, but he drove a truck for Hood, and he had a second job as a custodian. And Jim came back and has been with us for 20 odd years, and it's just been just unbelievable in how much he's stepped up. Now, he's matching dollar for dollar any new contributions, people who've never given to our capital campaign, or any increase in the capital campaign. I'd like to say I tagged him pretty good myself. But he's doing that, there's still funds available, so if you haven't made a commitment to the capital campaign, there's still an opportunity to put the hurt on Jim, and he would love every moment of it. I'd like to thank Sean Hurley and Bob McCarthy, Sarah Hamilton, Greg Maynard, our development team. You know, they've done an amazing job of actually getting cash pledges for about 50% of the cost of the building already. Right? The building's going to cost around $30 million. And I'd like to thank the people in this room who've already made a commitment, written a check, signed a pledge form. Right? We can't do this without you. You guys are it. We don't have all these alums running around the country that are, you know, actually living in Southern California in mansions or whatever. You guys live around here. You win here. You know, this is where we are. We need your help. I can't help but take a minute to thank 8 guys, right, and 2 women, right, who graduated from Malden Catholic between 1940 and 1970. Right? Those 8 people, and I'll name them in just a second, basically got us through the last 25 years. All hell has broken loose in Catholic education. Sean can show you a map of every Catholic school that's closed, you know, within striking distance of Malden Catholic, and it's just ridiculous. Pope John, Maintenon, Don Bosco, St. Joe's Prep, you know, everybody shut down. Why? They didn't have the sustainability, and they didn't have 8 guys who could keep this place open, right? I'm gonna name them. These 8 families, and they're really 8 Malden Catholic alums, 2 of whom were married to Girls Catholic alums, right, have given us over $30 million during the last 20 years. And without them, I wouldn't be here, and John wouldn't be here, and nobody would be here, right? And you know, Gerard Doherty, late Gerard Doherty, and his wife Marilyn, and then later Regina, Joe O'Donnell, one of our greatest benefactors, and champions, right, at the Catholic Schools Foundation, the governor, Peter Lynch, everybody commented, without Joe, you know, Malden Catholic wouldn't exist. And it's probably true, right? I mean, he really held this place together during the toughest times. Jim and Bev Donovan have given more of their treasure than anyone. Maybe people don't know that, but here's a guy who didn't even go here, and he's our biggest benefactor, right? Unbelievable. Gene and Sally Fama, they're out in Chicago, they're class of 1956. I just met another member of the class of 1956. They have been just unbelievable in supporting the school, and we never know when we're gonna get money from them. They just send it. They don't call, they don't ask if we got it, they don't wanna thank you. It just comes over the transom every January, right? It's unbelievable. You know, they're Dick and Anne-Marie Connolly. Dick's not here tonight. Dick has just been a stalwart of support. Tom and Olivia McDonough, they're named the Performance Center for the McDonough family. They have been unbelievable over the years. And 2 of the 8 are with us tonight, Bob Higgins and Ted Legacy. I know you know who they are, I'm not gonna make them raise their hands. They're people who don't like to stand out, but we have to thank them. These 8 people have kept this school with a pulse. And now with a heartbeat, right? We're pumping, 160 beats a minute, baby. It's going. So these grads from the 40s, 50s, and 60s have gotten us this far. And I gotta tell you, it's time for the class of the 70s, 80s, and 90s, some of you whom are in this room, to step up. Thank you for the guys who are I love the 8 names to be remembered. Like I'm not Irish, as you might guess. My real name is Massimiliano Tenalia, right? But if you meet some Irish people, they can name the 8 guys from the Easter uprising who were executed that morning, right? They can go down the names. One of them, by the way, was Tom McDonough, just for the record, right? And I'd like those 8 names to be remembered forever at Malden Catholic. And I'd like 8 more from the next three decades of classes, the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. I'd like them to be Italian. Pastor Cantilli and I might be the next 2 up on the list, right? More Italians, we need more Italians. We just got Fama in that last group. You go down the rest, they're all Irish, right? But I would like you guys to think about this, that this is the time to step up. I know you went to some of you have gone to great schools beyond Malden Catholic, gone to graduate school, gone to law school, done whatever, had huge success. Nobody needs your money more than we do, and we will put it to good use, right? We will make sure that we keep the best kids who are available to us in the school. We will build a great school, we will run it, we will treat your money as if it were our own, because that's what it is. And I would like to thank you all for coming. I'd like to have you all think about it, and I'd like the Italians in the room to meet me in the corner a little later. Thank you very much. I hate too much program. This was about 20 minutes. It was a pretty good job. But please hang out for a while, have a drink, see your friends from your class or thereabouts, and we'll be here for a while. Thank you very much.
Night all.